You know, I'm somebody who really enjoys alien-based media. I just think it's so cool with this alternate history timeline of where things could have gone, and we've seen this explored through various books, TV and film, and video games. But there is definitely that trope of how the story is often told from the military's point of view. How would we fight back? Would we rise up against them? Oh, wait a minute. Is the call coming from inside the house? Blacksite Area 51 is a game that follows that well-trodden alien path. This game is from Midway Studios Austin, and it's also unrelated to the other Midway Studios Austin game, Area 51, which came out in 2005. Blacksite came out 2 years later on PS3, 360, and PC, and boy does it show. So let's spend some time with this We Have Resistance at Home game in this episode of PSR, a PlayStation retrospective. Blacksite Area 51. Boy, oh boy, I have no clue what I am getting into. And that's just how I like it. The game begins 3 years ago in Iraq. In the back of a truck, you, Captain Aaron Pierce, and your crew, the Delta Force Echo Squad, are heading back to a rendezvous point to meet with another squad member and your interpreter, Noah Weiss. You learn that your mission is to investigate a bunker where the Iraq are suspected of stockpiling weapons of mass destruction. The driver of the truck is overheard attempting to get through a checkpoint, but then Iraqi forces ambush the truck and open fire. So the team gets out and you're thrust right into gameplay in under 2 minutes, which is very straightforward first-person shooting. Well, I like how they kind of just throw you into the action. Pressing forward into an Iraqi checkpoint, you eventually reach the middle balconies to get a perfect view of Unreal Engine 3's Bloom. Also, the game's squad morale mechanic kicks in, which at this point in the opening level is never actually explained. Squad morale high? Okay, well, that's good. Good to see my boys are all juiced up. Don't even need any nectar. Echo Squad then makes it to a telecommunications tower and is able to contact Colonel Green, who tells the squad that they cannot get extracted, but they can provide ground support. So you then get into a shootout on the bridge and plant C4 to blow up the bridge and make your escape. It's around this time where the game's AI is already becoming a nuisance. What are you guys, like dogs? Little puppies? Come on, get out of the way. Go over there. On my way. Thank you. This shit is so janky. I mean, it's been like 16 minutes, my man. Boy, it did not take long for me to hate the AI. My NPC buddies are awful. Your ground transport arrives via helicopter, and you're off to the next level. Wait a minute.
Grayson, why are we stopping? Hang on, gotta take a leak.
Are you shitting me?
Don't be using that scope to zoom in on my junk, Pierce. Not that you need a scope.
What the Alright, that was a little silly. I like that. After some exotic gameplay in the form of on-rails mounted shooting, you arrive at an Iraqi village to meet up with your other Echo Squad member, Sergeant Mitchell Ambrose, and the interpreter, but also special operative, Dr. Noah Weiss. Sergeant Ambrose briefs you on the weapons bunker you'll be breaching.
The bunker's attached to a water purification plant, so if they're storing chlorine bombs, they'll be here. We go in first and 3rd Division follows. They'll take care of any insurgents from the village.
Dr. Weiss then administers a vaccine that's meant to combat chemical agents you might encounter. She starts with Corporal Cody Grayson, the resident pisser of the group, and then yourself. All the while, a local villager is cowering on the floor, saying the devil lives in the bunker. From here on, it's you, Dr. Weiss, and Lieutenant Logan Summers that are headed to the weapons bunker. You get into a few shootouts and then find yourself in a condemned school where the mood begins to change. Whoa! Gonna be honest, not nearly as impactful as like that initial one you get in BioShock or Dead Space or anything else really. You encounter your first mutated human who smashes through a wall. After killing it, Dr. Weiss explains that the humans have an extreme mutated case of encephalitis, which goes back 2 generations of chemical weapons testing. From here, there's more shootouts with the mutated soldiers and Iraq forces up until you reach the weapons bunker. You get inside, and now the job is to locate the chemical weapon storage. After a few more shootouts, you eventually reach a control panel that reveals what was being stored in this room, a giant alien crystal-like artifact, which you're advised not to touch, but apparently Lieutenant Summers did not get the memo. Keep my distance. Hey, hey!
Summers,
You idiot.
what did you do?
What's
Uh-oh.
happening?
As you drift in and out of consciousness, you see that Dr. Weiss is pulling you to safety in another room. Lieutenant Summers is still dazed from the effects of the crystal, which has sent out a sort of pulse that is now attracting alien creatures. The door slowly shuts as we see Summers fend for himself in his final moments. Before proceeding, let's provide some background on the developer, Midway Austin. Originally back in March of 2000, the studio was founded under the name Inevitable Entertainment by Russell Bird, Craig Galley, and Cyrus Lum. Previously, they were all former leadership at Acclaim's Austin studio. Russell got a start in the business doing QA on MS-DOS games in the early 90s before moving into game design for the NFL Quarterback Club games. With the founding of Inevitable ENT, he served as CEO. Craig was also working on the NFL quarterback games in programming and technical director roles, eventually climbing to Acclaim's VP of Technology. Once he left and founded Inevitable, his role was the CTO. And Cyrus was on the graphic arts side, working on games as early as Curse of the Azure Bonds in 1989 on MS-DOS, spanning up to the Nintendo 64 on Turok Rage Wars, where he was eventually VP of Digital Productions at Acclaim. After establishing Inevitable ENT, he served as their art director. The studio initially found their first gig by shipping the Xbox and GameCube ports of Defender with Midway and doing Tribe's Aerial Assault on the PS2 with Sierra, releasing both games in 2002. Just a year later, they also released The Hobbit on PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. As the team was working on their next game, Area 51 with Midway, the publisher acquired the team in 2004 and renamed them to Midway Austin. Area 51 was a fairly high-profile release at the time, with well-known celebrities voice acting in the game, such as David Duchovny, Marilyn Manson, Powers Booth, Nolan North, and Ian Abercrombie. The game launched to mostly favorable reviews, with the game's development being led by Harvey Smith, who was brought on as the studio's creative director. Previously, he was the lead designer on Deus Ex. So going into the sequel as executive creative director, one would think the game is in good hands. But Blacksite had a troubled development cycle, one that Harvey has been very candid about. The game launched in November 2007, and later that same month, Harvey spoke with Wired during the Montreal International Game Summit saying, and I quote, "This project was so fucked up." Harvey explained that the team was forced to share tech and it would take 8 months to get one thing working. And he also wasn't exactly excited about the project to begin with. He elaborated further by saying, and I quote, "With a year to go, the game was disastrously off rails. It went straight from alpha to final." Just days later, a Midway executive told Shack News that his comments were equivalent to a public resignation, and he left the studio effective immediately. About a year later, Midway's then president and CEO Matt Booty announced a 25% reduction across the company, which would include the complete closure of Midway Austin. As for Harvey Smith, he quickly bounced back as a creative director on the Dishonored franchise and studio director for Prey, then experiencing another low on 2023's Redfall from the now closed team Arcane Austin. Now, getting back to my playthrough, pressing forward from the tragic loss of Lieutenant Summers, you encounter tiny alien creatures that explode when you shoot them. Oh, more of these guys again, too. So those are like humanoid, right? So if anything, I'm probably going to have to, like, kill my squad mate or something? Is that sort of the predictable outcome here? Heading outside, you also meet your first graboid, which shoots out the eyes of Sauron. After dealing with that, extraction gets you and the rest of your team out of there, and now the game jumps to the present day, because as a reminder, the very opening said we were in Iraq 3 years ago. Now we're in Nevada, driving up to a garrisoned base camp that's being led by Colonel Dale Green. You meet up with him and he informs you about some armed insurgents that have breached a local military base that was officially shut down. He says there's sensitive information located there that's vital to national security, so they've ordered an evacuation of the area covering a 100-mile radius. The 4th Infantry that was sweeping Rachel, Nevada had lost contact with base camp 30 minutes ago, so Colonel Green wants you and Team Echo Squad to investigate and report back. Right outside, you meet up with Grayson, and he leads you to Dr. Weiss in the infirmary. You need another shot before heading into the field, and Dr. Weiss says that Colonel Green is an idiot and delusional because he has no idea what's actually happening out there. She also says their time in Iraq is why we're back here. She then advises you to not touch anything in Rachel and keep your skin covered. The door automatically opens.
5,799. 5,800. Whoa! Yeah! Hoo-ah!
Dude, Noah gives me the creeps, straight up.
Well, you're not wrong about that. Yourself, Grayson, and Ambrose group together and start driving to Rachel. You then face resistance from an unknown enemy chopper and shoot it down. I thought that was pretty cool, but the squad wasn't really all that impressed. See, that was pretty cool, guys. Aren't you pumped up? Don't you feel a lot better? No. Alright. I'm really not sure what this mechanic does for me, or what it's supposed to be doing. And it was also never explained to me. Loading screens in between the levels are what finally explain this mechanic. The more kills and headshots you do is what keeps morale up, and that is supposed to make your squad be more offensive and take more damage. But if you take damage or let your squad go down, then morale is low, and they won't be as effective in the field and go down faster themselves. Anyway, you then come across an alien carcass and fight a few more of the smaller ones, then you reach a guard post where you fight a larger group of aliens, and it's the in-game objective that reveals their name, the Xenos. Driving further, you make it to the Alley Inn. It's kind of funny. And then you save a civilian from a bunch of Xenos. Once you make contact, you get this extremely by-the-book alien invasion scene where the civilian understood the assignment.
You gonna do something about this mess?
Sir, the situation is under control.
Negativo, my friend. This country's under attack. This is just the beginning. I heard it on the shortwave. I seen 3 of them this morning. Full armor, biggest guns you ever seen. Moving in formation. Killed them all. Margaret, Bobby. This shit's finally happening here, man.
Take it easy, man. I think you hit
The hell I did. I'm telling you the truth.
Driving up to the way station, you're attacked by the alleged insurgents, which appear to be some form of super soldiers with alien-like weaponry. You find one in the bathroom on their last dying breath, and they have some choice words for you, Buster.
Look at his uniform, Pierce. Weapons up!
Eat shit, Delta.
You also discover they have a US Army dog tag on them. Ambrose says that doesn't make sense, and maybe they stole it from one of the missing soldiers in the 4th Infantry. As you drive further up, you encounter more resistance from the insurgents. This is where I was testing out the gun I just picked up from their bodies earlier, and it's at this point we have to acknowledge the abysmal performance. This is like unplayable, man. This is actually unplayable. I can't believe what I'm witnessing right now. Eventually, the squad makes it to Rachel, Nevada, and right away you encounter more of the super soldier militia, including new ones that are outfitted with a robotic exoskeleton, making them more deadly and more formidable.
Smells like rotten. Yeah, I bet the people here don't mind the illegal aliens so much anymore. This has got to be related to some kind of biological weapons program.
What? Did your voice just come out of his? While your dialogue overlapped and then cut off each other's? And also, what are you aiming down sights for? After a few more firefights with Xenos and these crazy-looking Xeno dropships, you make your way to Rachel's town courthouse and regroup with the 4th Infantry, and just as you're able to resupply in one of the chambers, a shocking reveal walks through the door.
Pierce, get over here!
Lock it down, soldier.
Hey, man.
This can't be.
Wake up, Ambrose. It's Summers. We found him wandering around, hiding from the militia. He's in shock or something. It's like seeing a ghost.
Nah, you died in Iraq, Summers.
Not exactly. The government's been holding him underground in some kind of hospital, right? Yeah.
That's right, Logan Summers is still alive. He explains that he was taken into the military's Reborn program. All the experimental material they found in Iraq is being used on test subjects for the government's R&D program to make harder, better, faster, stronger soldiers. He goes into detail about the ruthlessness of the program, where they began testing on the homeless, convicts, and illegals first, and if those tests didn't kill them, they then moved the testing on soldiers. The reason why Summers was able to get out, and why all the Reborn soldiers are attacking, is that they're following orders by somebody who was able to get them all out of there. Ambrose is extremely skeptical when hearing all of this, but Grayson pushes back and wants to go against orders from Colonel Green and get to the bottom of what the Reborn program is all about. Summers then says if they can get to Noah Weiss back at base camp, then she can help him and prove the Reborn program is real. So now Summers is back on the Echo Squad again, with you and Ambrose as you fight your way through hordes of Xenos. This is a nice neighborhood. Tuscan roofs, a lot of new construction going on, additions, good landscaping. Neighbors are kind of shitty. Definitely NIMBYs. Get off him! Oh! He dies? And that's how he dies? Wow, the HOA killed him. The HOA literally killed him. Eventually, you get to a drive-in movie theater that you have to secure in order to get evacuated, but not before admiring the beauty of a 2008 Dodge Avenger in the RT trim level.
Damn, a Dodge Avenger. This thing is brand new.
A Dodge Avenger. Oh my, did they have an, I haven't been paying attention. Did they have like a marketing deal with Dodge? Once you get the evac and start heading back to base, the plan is to meet with Colonel Green as a distraction so that Grayson can secretly take Summers to Noah Weiss. And just as you begin talking with the Colonel, who is unsurprisingly upset with the squad not following orders, some kind of explosion happens and you're ordered to go check it out. On the short walk there, Grayson says over radio that Summers is one of the Reborn and you need to get to the lab quickly. Once there, you see Summers confronting Weiss, where he's demanding she hand over the research team. Summers reveals that it was Dr. Weiss and her team all along that were operating the Reborn program, and it was Summers who led the remaining test subjects out of the Area 51 facility that was sealed with concrete walls.
You're an American soldier!
Not anymore! We've seceded, and you're a hostile force. We fired the first shot against you when we burned a hole in the concrete dome over our heads.
Summers runs out of the lab, and now Reborn soldiers are swarming base camp. Over radio, Colonel Green orders that all Reborns be taken alive, but clearly you're not doing that, so this is where you get into a handful of firefights throughout various portions of the camp, like the gas station, the research facility, the gas station again, and inside the gas station. Look at that Dodge Challenger. Regrouping with Colonel Green, he's furious that you've gone against orders by shooting to kill. He reveals that these orders are coming from the Pentagon and everyone could face charges. Dr. Weiss fights back, saying she was under orders as well, but she never expected the Reborn to break out. And even though the Secretary of Defense wants to save the Reborn program, she makes it clear they have to be killed. Outside the tent, the group decides that they have to go against orders and stop Summers at all costs. Weiss says that Summers took her research team back to the Area 51 facility to finish what they started. So she claims she can get you all back in, and Grayson says he has a pilot friend who can take them there. Everybody turns around immediately and looks at me. Follow Grayson. Well, it looks like they're waiting for me to do something. Now, this wouldn't be a military shooter without some exotic gameplay, so of course you shoot some graboids from the chopper, which leads into a larger one that acts as a sort of pseudo-boss fight. If you're wondering what the deal even is with these worm things, the Xenos, and how that ties into the Reborn, well, the answer is tucked away into the dossiers you pick up in the game. The Xenos are usually a mutation of Earth's biology coming into contact with energies and gases from fragments of an alien artifact that fell into the atmosphere in the late 40s. And it's the alien artifact energies that are getting injected into humans for the Reborn program. Anyway, as you approach the facility, Dr. Weiss starts coming clean about the program and her regrettable involvement.
We came back to look at the ruins, to run tests. We never imagined the Reborn might still be alive. Some of them were so torn up, clinging to life. The others wanted to kill us. We took everything from these men, and then we abandoned them. What did we think was going to happen?
This is why the military set up a garrison in the desert. They wanted to check on the remains because they sealed the place off with concrete after the program had failed. As Weiss is wrapping up her soapbox, a giant green beam smashes through the facility ceiling and the helicopter goes down. As you wake up, Ambrose meets his expected trope death, and Grayson gets fired up for his early 2000s military revenge. Entering the grounds of the base, you fight your first Xenofire Brute, which is this cool laser-shooting slug turtle thing. After that, you make your way inside the facility fighting more Xenos and Reborn until you meet up with one of the kidnapped research team members. He tells Dr. Weiss that Summers is using the alien artifact to shoot out that beam that will spread the Xenospores across the country. So you continue fighting through hordes of enemies inside, working your way closer to the center. After ziplining down a few floors, you look up to see another somewhat expected casualty. Oh, really? Really? That's how he dies? Well, what'd you think of that? You continue ziplining down an elevator shaft, but something goes wrong, you're stuck in the middle, and eventually fall down to the bottom. When you awake, you're captured by the Reborn and presented to Summers. He goes off on this bad guy monologue for a bit, which has some serious Matthew Lillard vibes.
Gotta get the enemy, Pierce! Where is he? Right here. I don't look like a bad guy, do I? Nope. I look like you.
Dr. Weiss was not captured though, so she opens fire from an upper balcony, giving you an opportunity to fight back. And now the objective is to kill Summers by following him into the inner chamber, where you have to deactivate the alien artifact beam. This is easily the most complex area the game has had so far, where you have to move around this room destroying all the equipment. But once you do that, you confront Summers for a 1v1 shootout, which is a bit anticlimactic and easy enough to handle. You're then extracted out via helicopter as Area 51 begins to crumble. Dr. Weiss also made it out alive with you, and she wonders how much damage was done with the xenospores now spreading across the nation.
Honor isn't always about making the right choice. Sometimes it's about picking up the pieces.
Wow. Oh, that's it. It's over. Just like that, huh? Well, it's bad. It's got the hallmark of every sort of bad game you can think of. Bland, shooting feels awful, driving feels awful, performance was a nightmare, story's very forgettable, very of its time too, 2000s politics, with very cheesy humor that just like, in some ways is still silly and funny, but in other ways it's like, oh geez. I wanted to stop playing this the first hour in. It's a good thing it's only like 4 hours. If you enjoyed this episode of PSR, a PlayStation Retrospective, consider supporting the channel and more episodes with a YouTube channel membership or over on Patreon. You'll get access to deleted scenes from this episode and the back catalog of other deleted scenes and quarterly Q&As. We don't run any sponsorships or paid advertisements on this channel, and I would love to keep it that way. So any support helps and is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. You take it easy.
Next time we see a liquor store, we should check it out. You know, in case it's full of insurgents.
You know people get shot for looting.
Man, we're armed to the teeth. Who's gonna shoot us?
Dude, this guy's a piece of shit.